Everybody does them, but do they do them this way? We done cover them up with some cream cheese, a little bit of special vegetable blend, some ground sausage, throw them on the grill, hickory smoked. What is it? Stuffed mushrooms. Come on, folks, the fire is hot. Hey, thank y'all for stopping by the barn today on another episode of Cowboy Cooking. My name is Kent Rollins, and we cover it all from grilling to Dutch oven cleaning to even psychological help. And I might need a little help saying that word at times. And we don't want none of you new viewers to miss out on anything we got going on, so be sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the dingy-dong bell so you get notified when these videos are coming out. Now, we are in for something that Shan got to thinking she had a craving for today. And me, I never was a fan of them till I fix them, and I'm thinking, woo-wee, these things is powerful good eating. I'm telling you, what is it? A grilled stuffed mushroom. Hickory smoked. These things are so good. I ate about 5 or 6 of them when I was just trying them out the first time. Let me see if these meet y'all's approval. This is about as big a shroom as I can get here in my country, unless you get one of them toadstools that's growing in the yard. And then you be cooking and one of them things, and you wake up in La La Land, you don't even know where you're at. So these are just a white mushroom, got the little stems in. We're going to pull the stems out. And how many of you folks know this, that when you pull the stem out of one of these, did you know a mushroom had gills? I just want to show you before we go any further, because we got to clean this all out. You see this part down in here that is looking a little dark? That is the gills of a mushroom, just like a fish. He be breathing through them things. I just want to show you that process. Be careful not to break none of the outside edge of that mushroom, because we need him all to hold the goodness in. That is a done deal. That is 14 little shrooms. We're going to cover these up, and we're going to go on with what I'm telling you is fixing to happen to these fellers here in just a minute. Like, I've come up with this concoction that I really love, and what is it? A half of a red bell pepper, a half of a yellow onion, and a whole green chili that has been roasted, and we fixing to peel it. So hang on with me a minute while I get it off the grill. Y'all know that I love a green chili. Now, I done roasted that rascal once and peeled most of the skin off of him, but I like to stick him back on there after that. That way you can get a little more flavor out of there. So let's go ahead and split him right across here and take them seeds out. Now, if you like a little more bite in your stuff, hey, leave them in there. I ain't got no quarrel with you at all. So we're just going to cut him off right there, discard that part right over there, and we're going to chop him up pretty fine. I have browned me up nearly a half a pound of ground pork sausage. Now that too will depend on the size of your mushroom. We got the red bell pepper and the onion already chopped up. Now that is a half of a yellow onion, a half of a red bell pepper, and one of them good green chilies, Anaheim in nature. Got it all there. Over here on the grill, I got getting hot 1/2 stick of butter. But also in there is 2 minced garlic cloves you got in there. So let's take this over there, get these vegetables all tenderized and cooked. Now we're going to cook that down till they absorb most of that butter. We'll let them sit there and simmer and get really soft. Now when we think it lacks about 5 minutes, we're going to take them mushrooms and we're going to give them a bath in some beef broth just so they can soak up some of that good beef flavor. You don't want to leave them no longer than that, because then they'll get too soft over here on the grill. But we have found out if you'll give them a little bit of that beef flavor, goodness. Now these veggies ain't been seasoned at all, so what are we putting on there? Some of that Red River Ranch mesquite, because it has a little bit of that mesquite flavor, but also some ancho chili in there. And I be needing it to come together with all the rest of it so everything gets to loving. You can see we done cooked it down there enough. We about got all that butter absorbed in them little veggies. So let's get it over here and get it to cooling. And I'm going to have to hurry because this glove ain't real thick. So we're going to dump that right here in this little bowl so it can go to cooling off, because we're going to need this skillet here again in just a minute. And there ain't no sense in dirtying up another. The beagle is tired of washing dishes.
That too big?
grill. So while that is cooling, them little shrooms that we have all duded up here that ain't got no caps in them anymore, let's take some beef broth. We're going to give them a little bath, let them do some soaking in some beef broth. Just going to put a little bit on the inside just to hold my little life preservers all in there at the same time. And I'm going to cover them again. And like I say, we're going to let them set for about 5 minutes, and then we'll go to stuffing them. Panko breadcrumbs. Dry skillet, no oil, no nothing. We're going to give them a little toasting so they got that crunch. We're going to like them. And we're going to use about 1/4 cup, and that's it. This too will depend on how big your mushrooms are and how much of that you want to use. So let's go ahead and take this back to the grill, and we're going to toast them up here. You can see a little color is starting to take place there. I just want to give these just a little light browning to them breadcrumbs. You've seen them chefs do that on TV, ain't you? Where they flip that stuff back over. How many of them using a skillet like that? Whew, that thing is hot too. You want to pull that off a little quicker than you think. Well, they're not all toasted. With good cast iron, it's going to continue to toast there as you go along. Well, the shrooms have been soaking, they have, so let's take them little rascals out, because they done had them a little bath. Be sure you drain that there beef broth out of them and just set them right over here handy. The first participant to crawl up in the goodness, cream cheese. I'm just guessing, but I'd say maybe pretty close to a teaspoon, teaspoon and a half. Now next, we're going to go just a little layer of this right here, these good veggies. Now I like to pack them down in that cheese a little, and then next comes the sausage right out of that filled skillet. Just give him a little packing, set him right over here. Some of these here breadcrumbs. Mash them down in there just a tad. And then right before that gets through on the grill, there will be some Parmesan cheese on there. Good. Let me get the rest of these stuff while y'all is watching. So we got all these little fellers all stuffed up, we do, and depending on the size of your mushroom, you may have a little bit of the filling of the vegetables and the meat and the cream cheese left. But don't panic, you can always make some more, or you can let your puppies clean up the ground sausage and the cream cheese. So let's get over here first and put us some hickory in this fire, because I want to give them some good hickory smoke on top of that mesquite. I got 2 that I soaked for about 20 minutes. They're ready to go in the fire. We're going to let this down pretty low because I want these to cook low and slow. Let me get us a little spray to put on there. We'll be good to go. Just lay these happy little fellers in there. They just like to sit there, oh, so peaceful like. And let the goodness commence. If you just cook these over direct low heat, and we're going to shut the lid on them and let them catch some of that good hickory smoke that's coming out of there. I'm going to shut this one down to where it's just barely got a crack, and you can see this and just barely got a crack. That way that smoke is going to run around through there. It's probably going to take about 5 to 8 minutes. We just want them mushrooms to sort of get a little browning, but also get a little soft around the edge, and we'll keep an eye on them. Well, let's check them. We've been on about 5. You can see they're getting a little mushy, so that's what we're after. And now we're going to add one of the major players in this game, and that is some Parmesan cheese. Now, a lot of you was hollering at me last week, boy, I bet that cheese is hard to clean off that grill. Now, you get it good and hot, it comes off there real easy, so don't you be worried about putting no cheese on there. I grated me about a cup, and that's pretty close to what we're going to use. So let's shut the lid because we got some flame action going. We're going to let them go for just a second to melt that cheese, and we are going to take them off. Let me get a little platter. Things is already looking good and smelling good. That in there tried to jump out of the boat. Guarantee you the cheese will hit the roof of your mouth. It'll burn. You can smell that hickory smoke out there when you look at there, and I mean that cheesy goodness. I can see them little breadcrumbs in there. Folks, I ain't even a great fan of mushrooms, but I would eat me like a bushel basket full of these. You can see that layer of cream cheese right there on the bottom, and then our little veggies and our meat and our cheese and breadcrumbs on top. I see it so well, guess what I'm going to see it doing? Oh, going to the mushroom city. I know it's going to be pretty. I like a mushroom. The thing that is the star of the show to me is that cream cheese on the bottom and this cheese on top, but that hickory smoked goodness of that little mushroom. You can use these as an appetizer. You can use them as a side dish, but I'm just telling you, you better make a bunch of them because you're going to want to use them for everything. I have a very special shout out this week, and it's to probably one of my greatest fans there is, and that is Alexander up there in Ohio. Alexander ain't very big, but his daddy done sent me a video of him doing the happy dance watching Cowboy Kent Rollins cook, and he always says this: it's num-num time, it's the Cowboy. And folks, they're going to show up and see us in Ohio, at Dalton, Ohio, the last weekend in July at Layman's. We're going to do a little grilling demonstration and how to take care of some cast iron. And if in case y'all missed last week's episode, I still got my beagle, my #1 checker out here, and his buddy who is still searching for a great home, Marmaduke. Channel have you another little link where you can get over to see what you want to do if you would like to adopt this great taste tester. He is a good one. He is. I tip my hat and honor those, the veterans, the servicemen and women, all who have fought and all who are still looking after our country to keep it safe for Old Glory to fly wherever I'm at. It's going to be there with me. We sure appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to watch our videos. We never take that for granted, and we'd appreciate it if you would share with all your friends and all your neighbors. That way we get to feed the whole world, and everybody is happier when they got something to eat. I promise you that. God bless you each and every one. We hope you have a blessed day above the grass, and I will see you down the stuffed, hickory smoked mushroom trail.